What's going on YouTube? This is your boy Blake the Mobile Mechanic. Today I'm here with a 2013 Dodge Charger 5.7 liter Hemi. Today I am working on installing a water pump, front brakes, and rear brakes, and the thermostat. I'm going to start with doing the front brakes first. I'm going to make a couple of videos for the rear brakes, and I'm also going to do a video for the water pump, so stay tuned for those. But right now, we went ahead and got the vehicle. I got the tire taken off. All right, to remove the lug nut, you're looking at a 23 millimeter. All right, so now we are here at the next step where we have to remove the caliper bracket. All right, this bolt here is going to be a 13. This is going to be an 18. It's going to be the same for this bolt here. 13, 18. All right, show you full view. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and break that loose and go ahead and get this caliper off for you. All right, like I said, this one here is going to be a 13 millimeter. Let me check my camera angles real quick, Angela.
Needs to be down. Oh no, you're good.
Okay. All right. All right, so if you run into the issue where this starts spinning, if you ain't got the finger strength to hold it, this is an 18 millimeter. All right. All right. Loosen that up. I know I got my fat head in the way. All right, like I said, it's spinning, so I just grab it with my finger. All right. Once again, I've been doing this for 15 plus years. You see, someone went in and put Loctite on there. All right, go ahead and take the caliper off. All right, so I don't know if you can see or not, but the deep groove here on the customer's rotor, it's ate into his pad right here. We want to take care of that for him today. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and press the piston back in. All right, pressing the piston back in. Switch over to the other side. Normally I have a ratcheting type. One of the pieces is missing to it. Not going through. Make sure that one's pressed all the way in. Alright. Alright, now after you press the piston in, go ahead and put that out your way. Alright.
Gloves, so you don't get the red crap everywhere.
Alright.
Oh, never mind. I already have that.
Alright, so your squealer's always going to go in the rear. I know my head's in the way right now. Sorry, people. Alright, but it just pops on just like that.
Yes. Get it. They all have those.
Alright, same thing with this one. Anywhere where there's going to be metal contact, just go ahead and just do a little dab. Don't get carried away with it. Some of them will come with, you know, squealers on both the front and rear. So if they come with front and rear squealers, that's fine. Slide it in. Alright. Go ahead and put your guide pins here. Go ahead and pop these out just like this. Alright, you want to apply new grease. It's what your guide pins do. It keeps everything from seizing up. You know, these are actually really important. Alright, so just clean off that old grease. Run a bead. Run a bead. Alright. Pop that bad boy back into that boot. Pump it around, twist, get it around in there. Alright. See, that allows it, when you hit your brakes, for that piston to open and close. Once again, run a bead. Run a bead. Alright, as you see, my guide pins are not stuck, they're freely moving. Alright. Go ahead and press piston in if you haven't already. You see, you get all this. Pop that, pop that. If you want to add a Loctite, you can, but if you torque them down to the appropriate tightness, you'll be all right. Pop that top bolt in. All right, pop that bottom bolt. Once again, it's a 13 millimeter. If it spins on you, grab your 18. Tighten it down. Go ahead and do the same thing from the bottom. Put your 18 on the bolt. And that is how you do the front brakes on a 2013 Dodge Charger 5.7 liter. Thank you. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Please like and subscribe to my channel. I am now going to start the video for my rear brakes, so stay tuned for the next video.
Pause.
Just stop. Alright, so when I remove the belt, put it on, I take my pole. Oop, got it backwards. Drop that pole on there. And I'm just going to pull it forward just like so. I'm doing it one-handed. Take the belt off just like that. Slowly release it. Take my pole off. Alright, take my belt out. Alright, and then from here, my next step. Alright, now the next step, we're going to go ahead and disconnect that sensor right here. Alright, you're going to pull that red tab back. It's going to disengage that lock. Pull that tab, it's going to come right off. Alright, our next step now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove the thermostat right here and the hose. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the whole assembly off and then take the hose off. It's just easier that way for me. Stay tuned for the next part. All right, now that I have the sensor taken off right here, like I said, I'm going to go ahead. I want to remove the thermostat. All right, we got these two bolts right here. And then we got the hose. I'm going to go ahead and loosen this hose up so I ain't got to fight with it while it's still attached. I'm going to grab a pair of channel locks. Take a pair of channel locks. Put it on there. Pull it back, get it clear as much as possible. I take it all the way up. Alright, that opens it up from here. I go ahead, open my channel locks as wide as I can. Alright, put it on here, and you rotate it like this just to get it loose. Alright, once you do that, see, it's easy for it to come off. Alright, I always recommend you tuck it up out the way. Yeah. You got several hard brake lines right here. I would recommend that. Just shove it out under the way right there. Just get it out the way. That opens up your assembly from here. Alright. Let me switch to the other side so you can see clearly. Alright. I'm adjusting. Alright. Alright. So you see inside there you got your thermostat. Yeah, we're about to change that out also. Yeah. Alright. Alright, so for the next step, like I said, we're going to take a, what's it, a 13 millimeter. We're going to go ahead and remove the thermostat housing right here. Go ahead, get down here with the other one. Moving this now just go ahead and opens up more space for you. All right, go ahead and get that off. We're gonna get that cleaned up. All right, get that old thermostat out. All right, his is stuck in there pretty bad, so that's when you grab your screwdriver. Just take a screwdriver, pop that in there. Be careful because this is aluminum. Alright, so sometimes these can get stuck in there pretty bad. You know, if it does, just get a pair of channel locks, get on there and pull it out. Just make sure you get the old ring out. You can put a pick in there, scribe, whatever you can get to get it out. You just want to be easy because it's all aluminum. Just come in with the screwdriver. Just be careful. It's all aluminum. You're going to have to replace this seal. It's not reusable. Alright. So if you don't need to replace your water pump and you just need to replace your thermostat, from here you're just going to do the opposite of what I did. You're going to put the thermostat back in, put the radiator thermostat hose back on, put the air filter box back on, bleed your system after you add your coolant, and be done with it. Alright, but my customer today has a bad water pump. I don't know if you can see right here or not where he's been leaking and overheating. I checked his hoses, the hose is fine. I did a pressure test, radiator and everything was good. You know, my diagnosis came to bad water pump. saw the thermostat and you see the condition of everything. You know, you can see for yourself. You got a bad water pump. All right, so for our next step now, we're going to remove the idler pulley. All right, let me grab my phone. All right, that's right here. We're going to take this pulley off. All right. The idler pulley. All right, so for the idler pulley, like I said, this is going to be a 13 millimeter. Go ahead and get our 13 on there. All right, get that broken loose. All right. Should be able to turn it by hand. If not, go ahead and put it back on there. Put a wrench, ratchet, whatever you want to, whatever works best for you. All right. Go ahead and loosen that up some more. All right, so when you're removing the idler pulley, I always recommend place the water pump exactly like it is in the system, how it's going to be installed. And as you pull your bolts out, go ahead and stick them into the appropriate places that it goes. That way you don't have to do any guessing what went where. It's just way simpler and easier to do it this way. I just took the idler pulley off, as you see it's right here. Now I am going to take off this pulley here and get it set up and get it put out the way. I'm going to get all this cleared out the way here. Yeah. I'm going to take the belt tensioner off. That's going to be my next thing right here. Take the belt tensioner off. Alright, so to remove the belt tensioner now, we're going to put a 16 millimeter on there. Get that broke loose. Alright. Using my OSA sockets. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and pull this belt tensioner assembly out. It's just this one bolt right here. Alright, you want to pay attention to when you pull this out. You have a knob on the back of it. I'll show you what I mean. So I finish pulling this out. Alright. See this notch right here? It has to line up in that hole right there. Alright, hang on one second. I'm going to put this bolt into the new water pump. Alright, now I'm going to start removing these studs here. You got top stud. I'm going to go ahead and take out my studs now. Alright, these are double threaded studs right here. This is a 15 millimeter. I'm going to take this one out. I'm going to take this one out. Alright, and then these bolts here are going to come out next. The ones under the studs. After I remove it. Those should be either a 13 or a 14. I'll let you know in just one moment. That's a 16. Alright, let me go ahead and get these studs out real quick. Alright, stay tuned for the next step. Alright, like I said, removing these studs is going to be a 15 millimeter. Go ahead and get it broke loose. Get it broke loose. Once you get it broken enough, you should be able to take it out by hand. Don't get your bolts mixed up once you get them taken out. As you see, look at all that. Look at the rust on this bolt. This water pump is so bad. Alright, this is the bottom bolt. So like I said, stick it right in. This one out. This one might not have to come out, but I'm taking it out anyways for the simple fact I need access to this bolt right here. Alright. So go ahead. Alright, now we're going to move on to the next bolt. Like I said, this one should be a 13 millimeter. That one don't go nowhere else. Alright, yes sir, this one's going to be a 13 millimeter. Take a 13, start removing these bolts. Remember, it's always easier to pull something than it is to push something. always try to pull your bolts instead of pushing. When I mean pull and push, pull. You're able to generate more force. Pushing, I don't recommend it. Alright, so I'm pre-braking my bolts. You got one here, got one here. Alright, we got one behind the sensor here. I'm going to go ahead and take this out. It should be an 18 millimeter. Nope. 19 millimeter. Alright. Like I said, generate more force by pulling versus pushing. Alright. Take the socket out, the sensor out. Go ahead and place it into the spot on your new assembly. Alright, we're going to switch back to our 13 millimeter. Take out the rest of these here. I'm just pre-braking all my nuts, getting them out the way. Alright, once I get all these nuts broken, we're going to disconnect this cooler tube right here, this outlet tube. I'll show you that in just one moment. Stay tuned for the next part. I'm going to go ahead and pull these bolts out. Alright, so when you're removing the line over here, this is a 10 millimeter. I'll show you better in just a second. I just wanted to say that. I'm still in the process of pulling these screws out. So stay tuned. Alright, now I'm going to take my screwdriver and I'm going to work very easily on this tube over here. Some of them, it can come up pretty easy. I'm going to go ahead and switch my camera around to where y'all can see what I'm doing. So hang on one second while I adjust my... Alright, so you can see the tube that I'm talking about right here. I'll adjust. Alright, that's where I'm working at right now. Alright, so like I said, I'm taking my screwdriver. You want to be very gentle. Like I said, it's all aluminum. You want to work it out right here. And then come from over here. You see, I'm just gently prying. Gently prying. You do not want to break this tube. And then switch back, and then you're going to continue to work from both sides. I'm going to go ahead and get this out and then show you once I have it out. Alright, so getting it out, like I said, take it in right here and just pop. Don't be hard with it, just keep popping just like this. I call it shocking. Shock it. Now that you got it disconnected and loose. Alright, let's see, this is a 10 millimeter nut right here to take it out. You want to remove the rest of these bolts now. You should have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more nuts to remove. And once you remove those, the water pump's going to come all the way out. I'm going to go ahead and continue taking the rest of these nuts out. I got to grab a deep weld real quick. Hang on one second.